On the last day of the trip, all the youth gathered around as they slaughtered this huge pig. They bashed it on the head to knock it out and then started to sever its head to kill it. Unfortunately, though, they weren't quick enough, and the pig woke up mid-procedure. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Youth Group Chronicles. With us in the studio tonight, Jamir and Mason.
Yes.
I've been told that I'm not allowed to do government names. So we're on a first name basis, and we're going to leave it at that. No government tracking any of our guests here. We've had enough of that.
They usually call me Sabrina, if you don't mind.
Ja, welcome back. This is episode 2 for him and Mason. And he vowed that he is going to give his input a little bit more on this episode. It was his first time. Have you ever podcasted before, ever? Nope. All right. Well, now you are officially a podcaster. You know that, right?
You're a podcaster.
You're literally a podcaster.
Yeah, episode 2, huh?
When is Upward Conference? We don't know. We don't know those answers.
If you guys have a story you'd like to send into the show, stories@ygcpodcast.com is where you can send them in. And if you are brand new to Youth Group Chronicles, this is where people send in true stories from youth ministry and youth group. And my guests blind react to them. Yeah, we'll kick this off with an anonymous story. The anonymous stories are always the best. For a youth group outreach, we were instructed to find and invite students near the area to come play. After everyone we talked to declined, my friend and I started to give up. That's when we saw a teenage girl sitting on a bench. So we began to talk to her. She looked skeptical of us at first, but we were just used to that at this point. With her gestures, it felt like she was trying to ignore and avoid us, but gradually she began to make a few eye contacts, and it seemed like she was finally listening to us.
Oh, she's deaf.
Because of this, and because of our excitement, my friend grabbed this girl's arm to lead her back to the court our youth group was hanging at. He was really trying to hype her up by saying, we're going to have so much fun, and we're going to have snacks afterwards, etc. But when he grabbed her, she panicked and sprinted away from us. Come to find out, the girl was deaf and she didn't hear a word that we said. She literally thought we were kidnapping her.
We said, get away!
Yeah, no. I would have ran too. What are you grabbing people for?
Like, hey, come. They're students. It wasn't adults.
You can't just be grabbing people's kids. Nope, I don't know.
They got you that one day.
What'd they do?
What'd they do?
You were a leader. They got you.
Oh, you're saying they grabbed her?
Yeah, snatched her up. Right from the military.
It worked.
Yeah, look at you. You made it.
Can't say it didn't.
Nah.
This is a story from Anna. Anna said, on a mission trip in Africa, one of our leaders decided to buy a pig for the village that we were staying in so that they could have meat. In their area, it was difficult to buy pork. So when this youth leader saw a farming pig for sale, he instantly wanted to buy it for them. On the last day of the trip, all the youth gathered around as they slaughtered this huge pig. They bashed it on the head to knock it out and then started to sever its head to kill it. Unfortunately, though, they weren't quick enough, and the pig woke up mid-procedure.
Procedure is crazy. You're murderers.
And it ended up running around the village, spraying everyone with blood.
Covered in the blood.
No. I would have still had some bacon. That would have made me mad.
Yeah, I would have tracked that thing down.
Yeah. You ever seen the video of the cop that jumped onto the pig because it was loose?
In the yard?
That's what I would have done.
You know who I think of every time I see that video?
Huh.
Joey.
Yeah. I can see him with his mustache. Yo.
Joey is like the only friend I actually have that's a cop. So probably why I think about that. But yes, I did see that video. Very funny. This is from Benny. Yes, the village wanted bacon. They actually did not let us know if they finished the job. I would imagine they did, because I don't think it could just get away.
Who does that?
The pig?
No, who just buys a pig
For a village?
For a village.
It is random. I will give you
and
that.
we're gonna kill it. Starting with the head.
What's Catch the Bacon? What's the game in youth group where it's Is it steal the bacon? Steal. Okay. Close, guys. This was not a youth group. Well, someone asked, why is this a youth group activity? They were on a mission trip, and the guy saw a pig that he wanted to gift to the village.
It was a mission. They had no food.
I mean, they probably had some food. They said they couldn't really get pigs. And yes, guys, mics are coming. Don't worry. You just have to go back and listen to the audio podcast. Yes, they will be attached at one point. Isaiah was supposed to send me the link. Maybe he'll send it to me tonight.
Yeah, Isaiah.
As he's on the chat right now. This is from Benny. For a youth group lesson, we opened up with a discussion about weird things we do. Everything was fine until a new middle school kid finally raised his hand during the lesson. When I called on him, he excitedly expressed to the room of our students how his parents make weird moaning noises at night.
I'm sorry?
I tried my best to tell him he probably just heard them snoring.
Conceiving.
Don't lie to your kids. You got to tell them what you did.
I mean, the kid was probably 9.
That's old enough.
Birds and the bees.
Okay, the kid was probably 6 years old. I don't know.
You lie to your kids.
This is what happens, I guess.
They were just snoring. Nobody else snores like that. Yeah. What did it sound like? Yeah, I cracked myself up.
Isaac said, bro is definitely homeschooled. Be nice. That's probably the only logical explanation, to be honest.
Gotta be. Did you know Sam?
I probably would have been that kid. I don't know if I would have announced it, but I feel bad because
scared.
They're fighting.
Someone said that actually happened to them and they didn't realize and connect the dots until they were an adult. See? Were you homeschooled though? That's the question, Bethany.
So they were speaking in tongues? Yo. Whew. I'm glad I have a filter.
Mason is probably the least filtered we've ever had.
What?
She's just lying to herself
so
now.
Weak.
What did they say? What did they say?
Huh?
All right. This is a story from Travis. You're worse than Isaiah.
Ooh, it's hot. Cut the live.
Cut the live.
Oh, I need a recruit. Let me get the I'm good.
I don't believe you. But all right.
Oh, that was funny. If you only knew.
This is from Travis. Travis said on a youth group trip, you got to get it together.
I'm sorry, Sierra. Stop laughing, bro. You don't want to know.
Just say it. Mm-mm. I'll edit it out if it's bad. No, I won't.
I don't want to say it. Okay. Travis.
I've never seen Mason with a filter. The internet has scared her, apparently.
Just looking out for the viewers.
What? You're looking out for the viewers?
Looking over YGC and Upward Conference. What did Travis say? I want to know what Travis said.
I don't think you do. On a youth group trip, this is from Travis. On a youth group trip, our van broke down along the highway. The state police stopped by to check on us and offered to take our students to a nearby gas station until we could get a new van rented. That's when one of the girls decided to call her mom and say, "Guess what, Mom? I'm in the back of a police car," and then immediately hung up. You can imagine the phone call I got as the youth pastor right after that from the kid's parents.
Yo, my mom would have went off.
Bold kid. That's all I got to say. What would your mom do? I want to know.
My mom?
Yeah.
Daphne? You want to know what Daphne would have done? What? She would have been right at the church. Doors might be closed, locked. She's banging. What? She's telling what? Everybody. Everybody's going to know.
Would she had called Pastor Cody, or would she had just immediately driven to the church?
She probably would have went right to the house. She would have went right to the house. Where's my daughter? She won't be coming back. In jail? What? My mom wouldn't. No second guesses.
Actually, I do. You were telling me you got baptized.
Yes.
And she
oh my goodness,
flipped out, right?
She was like, "Don't they need parental signatures? You can't just get baptized." She was like, "You're not baptized?" I was like, "Okay."
She unbaptized you?
Got baptized like 6 times. Woo. That's crazy.
Oh, I don't think I've ever met your mom. I don't think I have.
She's just
Have I?
like me. I don't know.
She's just like you said?
Could be worse.
Oh boy.
It's worse.
I think like
She's worse, Ja?
It's worse.
Oh boy.
all my siblings, we all act just alike.
This is our mailbag segment of the show. This is where people send in questions to us, to the guests, and we answer them on the show. If you have a question you'd like to send in, questions at ygcpodcast.com is where you can send them in. Add the cop card to the permission slip. That's actually true. This is from Linus_wonderful_life. That is quite the username. I'm going to work at a church camp this summer. Any tips or things to watch for?
Mold mites. Number one thing.
Mold mites. Caleb, anything I should be watching for? Name one thing. Name one thing. Axe cans? That's true. There's a lot of axe can stories on this. As someone who grew up at a youth camp. Potent. Anything else?
I always sleep on the top bunk.
Oh, hot water. Yeah. Always sleep on the top bunk? Yeah,
Absolutely.
from previous stories.
Yeah.
Who remembers the mold mite story? We're not going to recount it for you all. Don't worry. What? Yo, you remember it. No, I'm asking the live. But, okay.
That's her trauma.
Did you ever go to youth camp?
Yeah. It was yours.
It was ours? So you went to retreat and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
What would you warn people? So
The
she
food
says,
they
I'm going to
cook.
work at one this summer. What would you say
The
to her?
food y'all cooked.
What's that?
The food they cook.
What about it? It's bad?
Unseasoned.
Bring your own
Bring salt and
seasoning.
pepper? Like,
More than salt
Are
and
you
pepper.
serious? Salt and pepper.
what else do you put on food?
Seasoning.
Garlic
seasoning?
powder, onion
Isn't that
powder.
Don't invite me over for dinner. I don't want it. I'm gonna have to decline.
Gotta bring your own hot sauce.
All right. For me, let me think. Kids are sneaky. That's number one. If you are a counselor in a cabin, I don't know if you're working or if you're a counselor, be the one that sleeps by the exit so the kids can't sneak out. Because if you're like deep in the cabin,
Wow, you're the
Or bunker.
police. They can't sneak out. Are you crazy?
it's camp.
It's retreat.
You snuck out, didn't
No, maybe. I don't remember. I was bad.
You did.
I was really bad.
You snuck out.
I don't think I snuck out. I probably just walked out the door
Yeah, they're in the,
and said,
they're in the good
"I'm not
cabin.
coming back." Ooh, make sure you're
anything
always
that
with your
she should be
kids.
watching out for. Youth camp. Everybody's been to youth camp. She's working at one this summer. Been doing camps for years now. You would never not be able to see a kid in their bunk from your bed. Or you should never not be able to see a kid. So, okay, like a central location, that's fair.
Sierra said, for her to like, what'd she say? I just heard it in my ear. She whispered it. She said, don't be with other kids that aren't your kids.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Yeah. If you don't know
Sierra
'em,
got
don't do it.
the short end of the stick on that one. So basically, if you guys remember, Sierra got stuck with a bunch of kids that were not her youth kids. She was a leader at the time, but she got stuck with Mason's group,
We're
who
ghetto.
apparently snuck out while Sierra was sleeping and she didn't even know. But yeah, go with the kids that you know and you're comfortable with.
Don't be played.
This is a story from Noah Ross. How often does Sam get his hair cut? Every 2 weeks.
Who?
You do?
You?
Me. How often do you get your hair cut?
Whenever it needs to get cut. Like every week or whatever? I don't know.
Every week?
You do not get your hair cut.
Every other week?
Oh,
That's a lie.
It needs to be.
That's not what you do.
It's not what I do.
He's lying.
he just said that's what he does.
Yeah,
Did
he
I?
did say that.
Well, I don't know what I'll be saying these days.
Wow.
What about your own hair?
Don't worry about it. It costs $300, and it's
Kids are sneaking in the kitchen at night, messing with food. Okay, I 100% did that. Not messing with food. So the camp I grew up at had a food bank, and they would use some of the food bank food for the camp. But basically, it was just a stash of dry goods.
Isn't that old food? Expired?
Typically expired, but it's fine. I made it here. And
Yeah, what?
my favorite thing to do as a counselor and even a camper, because I live there, but watch out for those kids, is to go into the food bank, take food back to the cabin. So, I mean, boxes of Pop-Tarts, chips,
yeah. We have mad snacks in our
chocolate
cabin.
milk, everything. So, yes, kids do go into the kitchen. I was one of those kids. Know where the cleaning supplies are. Man, you guys are coming up with some good ones here. All right. Hopefully that answers your question and gives you some tips for youth camp coming up. Let us know how it goes. Hopefully something helps. This is from, we'll go back to
Caleb, shut
our
up.
stories here. What'd you say?
Caleb's commenting on the live. Shut up. Wow.
Questions at ygcpodcast.com if you guys have questions you'd like to send in. Going back to stories here. This is from Christopher. He said, on a youth group trip with a van full of students, something came crashing through the windshield as we were driving. Come to find out, we had hit a peacock with the church van.
My neck. I would have been paid. What a peacock. Government would have been paying me.
What was they at?
Driving.
They were in a church van driving.
Like where though? Like where you see a peacock on the road at?
That's what I was wondering. Is that something that just wanders around?
I never seen one.
Well, so we're in northeastern United States. Where does anyone know? Where do you see a peacock walking around? Like a zoo? Is that just that's just a bird, right?
I don't even know what a peacock looked like.
It's like a bird with
It's
the
like-
shiny feathers that flare out.
Yeah.
It's like a turkey, but with way prettier feathers, like tail
Wow,
feathers.
you know what I'm thinking about right now?
What?
An ostrich.
And that would be a wild thing to come through a windshield. Florida has natural peacocks? Okay. What does it say? Yeah, show Mason that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
you ever
never
seen,
seen one of
Can you
those.
imagine one of those coming through your windshield?
Yeah, no.
15 youth kids in there.
That would have been it. I don't think I would have drove again.
Was Sam driving? Great question. That
Had
would
to be.
man, that would be a great thing to add to the list of things I've hit.
Wow.
What else you hit?
Let me pull it up. I do have a list. Actually, it's right here on the screen.
You have a list of things you said?
Yeah, I don't know. I just keep track of it. It's kind of
A
interesting.
goal of yours?
I don't know. All right, I've hit 2 deer. I've hit 3 birds, 1 rabbit, 2 raccoon, 1 porcupine, 1 squirrel, 2 chipmunk, 2 fox, and a dog.
You got a dog?
Did
Yeah.
it live?
Cocoa Bean did not live. No,
That's
that
sad.
was a sad story. I have sold that story as well. Go back and listen. You'll have to find it. I'm sure some of you know. Yes, I do have a list. I know it's crazy. This is from Ethan. Ethan said, while outside during a winter youth group event, there was a little fire built that we could warm up at. During a briefing for the day, some of us were warming our hands at the fire, except I had mittens on, and I wasn't really paying attention. Halfway through the talk, I looked down and found that both my hands had literally gone up in flames.
What was he doing?
What did he do after that?
He stuck him in the snow. He was warming his hands by a fire like this, listening to the youth pastor talk. Looked down, and his hands were literally on fire
But how did it catch fire?
because he had mittens on. Gloves?
Do the math. Fire.
He ain't saying about no
mittens.
mittens.
He did.
I
He said his hands. Did he not?
With the mittens. Yeah, that
I
was
hear
even
mittens.
even Mason was paying attention to that story.
I ain't hear no mittens.
Did I read it?
Yes.
Room? Did I read mittens? Thank you.
That's crazy.
It's because it's your podcast.
I don't
All right,
know.
this is a story from Riley. We're gonna do I don't know what to call this, but I'm gonna read a couple sentences, and then you guys give me your best guess on what happens after this. All right, Riley said, at a youth conference, my friend was hosting. He wanted to impress all the students with a big, crazy entrance. He decided that he was going to rappel down from the catwalk in the ceiling of this church while throwing out candy to all the kids. Ja, where do you think the rest of that story leads?
Injuries on injuries.
Can you be more specific?
It's like them hard peppermint candies you're throwing out during parades at people.
Okay. You think that's what happened?
Yeah, like our church did. Yeah.
And you think it hurt a kid? You think that's where the
I
repelling
think it
story
hurt
went?
all the kids, and then the mothers, the backlash,
Okay.
and they want to shut down the church.
The man repelling down threw candy and it hurt the kids. All right, John Muir's guess. Where do you think this story went, Mason?
I have like two different views.
I want to hear both.
Are you sure?
Yes.
The next man was probably so big and just fell.
You think he fell off the catwalk?
Yeah. You don't remember when Alan,
What did he do?
you don't remember we were doing that dance? It
Oh,
was
and
at
he-
Upper Conference.
And he jumped off
He
stage?
jumped off the stage and broke his ankle. But he did it for the Lord. That's all that matters.
In a banana suit. I do remember that. That was my first year. That was like 8 years ago.
Yep.
People are saying there's maggots in the candy. Good guess, actually. The rope ripped his pants.
That would be embarrassing.
The story went from 30 feet to the ground in a hurry.
Yeah, definitely fell.
Good guess. Or the guy fell and got hurt in front of the kids. All right.
Get stuck.
A kid got choked on the candy. Okay. Couple good guesses. At a youth conference my friend was hosting, he wanted to impress all the students with a big, crazy entrance. He decided that he was going to rappel down from the catwalk in the ceiling while throwing candy out to all the kids. The day of the event, they were running late, so they were trying to hurry and get the conference started. My friend was up on the catwalk and had just gotten harnessed in. But the sketchy part of this was no one was rappelling him down, so he was doing it himself. So as the other host welcomed everyone, he started calling out for my friend, pretending to look for him, which was part of the plan. Feeling a little rushed at this point, he sat down and started to scooch off the end of the catwalk. Now, for those of you that have ever rappelled, you know there's a few feet of free fall drop before the rope really catches you. Except when this happened, he panicked and quickly went to grab the pole to kind of catch himself. But as he tried to grab it, he didn't notice that it was very sharp. So he ended up slicing his entire hand open as he dropped off and began to rappel. At this point, there was nowhere to go but down. So as he started rappelling down with his good hand controlling his descent, leaving his sliced hand open free. But at this time, he didn't fully understand how bad his hand was. And with all the excitement going on, he continued. At that moment, leaving his sliced hand free. But at the time, he didn't fully understand how bad his hand was. At the moment, the other host pointed up to him, so all the kids saw him, and they all started yelling with excitement. But they got even more excited when the host on the stage told all the kids that he had candy that he was going to throw down while he was rappelling from the ceiling. Naturally, all the kids stood up from their spot and gathered directly underneath him with their hands raised up, waiting for this candy. So my friend, rappelling with his good hand, started grabbing candy with his sliced open hand that was now gushing blood, and began throwing it down to all the kids below. So to my vantage point, all I saw was 100 kids gathered directly beneath him like a zombie horde with their hands raised out while my friend threw candy and dripped blood all over these poor students.
That's nasty.
It was literally raining down candy and blood on these poor kids, and he had to get 10 stitches later that night.
Them kids need rabies shots. That's nasty. That is really nasty.
So no one really guessed where that one was going. Actually, you want to know something? He said the kids never noticed. Never noticed. And I guess that means they ate it.
Cherry syrup.
Disgusting.
That's nasty. They ate it.
They had to have. I think it was wrapped, but still. And it wasn't like he scratched his. He had to get 10 stitches in his hand. So he was
that's like a big
a
cut.
lot of a lot of blood. Was that where you thought that was going? You kind of got it. Who said injuries? Was that Ja?
Who?
You said injuries, didn't you? You said multiple injuries.
He did not say that though.
Yes, I did.
What did he say?
He said injuries, but
He didn't. No, he didn't say that. He was very broad.
Please mind your business.
he said they got HIV now.
You guys are crazy. Alex. Oh my gosh. One more story here. This is from Abby. At youth camp, I got selected to play a game where all the girls were paired with boys. To start, the girls had to scoop lemonade mix into boys' mouths. Then they gulped water and swished the combination around in their mouths to mix it up. Then the girls had to take a straw to suck up the lemonade from the boys' mouths and transfer it to another container.
What are we practicing?
First team to fill up the container with the lemonade won. Do you understand what that is? They literally had to take a straw out of someone else's mouth and fill up a container with it.
That's nasty. All these stories is nasty. I would never do that.
Are you-
Ew.
okay. Because that's one of our would you rather questions.
For $1 million, yes, but
All right. So that's option one. This leads us into our would you rather. So option one.
it depends on what kid it is.
That's nasty.
It's a boy from youth group.
Well, you said that, yes.
Okay,
But like,
so
if I get to choose the one, okay, maybe. But a random, no. I got to see your teeth. I ain't playing.
Option one for would you rather, and you guys in the chat, I want to hear your vote too, is would you rather play the lemonade game where you're the one that has to take a straw, suck the lemonade out of someone's mouth, and then transfer it into another container. Out of someone's mouth that had been swishing around. That's actually really gross.
Swish.
Option two
Hot lemonade.
is you are a student in youth group and you are looking to get some students to come to your activity at the park. And as you're walking around, you stumble across a student that is deaf that you don't know is deaf. And you try to, quote, grab her to bring her to your event. And she runs off thinking that she was being kidnapped. Which option are you taking? Come here.
I'm going to pick the deaf girl. If she want to be deaf, I can be deaf too. We can both act deaf. I got it.
So you're gonna play it off?
Yeah. I'm out get little ear thingies.
But you were just talking to her. Do you remember the story? It was they were like talking to her, trying to tell her, "Hey, come to youth group."
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna talk really loudly.
She's not gonna hear you.
I got sign language.
Do you actually know sign language?
I know a few letters.
No, he doesn't.
I know the alphabet.
I know too. Mason?
If you're sucking out someone's mouth, you're nasty and should be jailed.
I feel like
A youth kid?
I would be a youth kid too. At that point.
Yeah, that's true. You'd be a youth kid at that point. Both scenarios, you are a student.
If I got to pick my partner, I'd do it.
You don't get to pick. You get.
I think you were just. Let me look back. I think you're just
paired
assigned.
with just anybody.
You're just paired. You are paired.
That's nasty. No.
So you'd rather try to kidnap a deaf kid?
Yep. Take the jail time. I would have to.
We're kids. Just going to jail. Maybe juvie.
Community service or something. They're not. No, not in my mouth. And I'm not sucking nothing out of nobody's mouth ever. That's nasty.
You just said if you could pick.
That's how you get.
You just said if you could pick, you would still
Mono.
You would suck it out their mouth.
That's how you get mono.
You could catch something.
Yeah.
100%. That's gross. I am going with.
You sucking stuff out of people's mouth. You know you are. You're like, I want to try it out.
I'm going with number one. I am.
What's number one?
Yeah.
Or no, not number one. I was reading a comment. I am going with option two, which is I would grab the arm of the deaf kid.
As you should.
Yep. Anybody that picks option two, I'm sorry.
It's deranged.
Yes, that's gross.
Homeschool activities.
I think everyone is pretty much going option one. No, not option one. I'm messing
Option
it up.
two.
Option two.
I think you want to pick option one.
No,
so bad.
no. You know what it is? It was the first story on my list. That's what's going on. All right. Is that your final chat? Is that your final vote? Jamir and Mason, last chance.
I'm not changing for nothing.
I'm going to keep mine.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Youth Group Chronicles. Actually, you know what? We post these polls on Instagram. I forgot to mention that. So if you guys, every Wednesday we go, when the episode goes live, you guys can listen to the episode, listen to the Would You Rather, and then go give your opinion on Instagram and let your voice be heard. We want to give you that opportunity. So Instagram, YG Chronicles. We also post videos on TikTok. We're on YouTube. And Jamir and Mason, thank you guys so much for being here. If you guys would like to get notified when we go live on Instagram, and eventually we're going to be going live on YouTube. You can go to ygcpodcast.com/update and get a text message and an email every time that we go live. And lastly, if you have stories you would like to send in, stories@ygcpodcast.com. And we will see all of you next week.